So I put my money back, but you know, everything was on sale, and last time I was going to get to buy furniture from Walter's store, so.
About religion, for the record, you're Catholic, right?
Right.
Last time I checked.
Well, I'd say that religion played a very important part in my life. It really meant a lot to me. I was in Catholic grade school, and then in high school, and nuns taught me. And then I had 4 daughters, and while they were at home, I made a couple of retreats. Went off to, where was that first one? It wasn't in Cape. It was at Perryville, I believe. So I made 2 or 3 retreats in my married life when they were growing up, and otherwise, and worked with our church organization.
So it's pretty much, you were just raised that way.
Right. I accepted it as, well, it was part of my life, and I wanted it that way.
You pretty much believe everything that they taught you? You disagree with something, or?
Well, it's very different now. You know, then, whatever, when you were a kid in school, whatever sister said, it was your sister. You know, it was, I didn't know it was mine, but you accepted it as that's the way it was. And I'd say even all through the life, if that's what the church taught, that's what you tried to adhere to.
Do you still do that today, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really has, your religion hasn't really changed that much. Pretty much stayed the same.
Well, it was a big change in my life when they turned the altar around in churches. Those were big changes then. And when you had people come up and help give out communion instead of the priest doing it, you know, that was taboo. Because even when it was part of the change, I remember your grandpa, Frank, if there'd be a priest and someone up there giving out communion, they had to get in the other lines of you.
A long time ago.
Yeah. He thought that was the priest's duty, and that was what he was going to stick with that.
So he was Catholic and raised that way.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how you raise your kids, just like your parents raised you.
I had them baptized when they were infants. And that was, they went to a Catholic grade school, high school.
We talked about how you met Grandpa, and how'd your mom and dad like him? And all your friends, and how they liked him?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a fun life, really. He was a salesman, and so he had a lot of people, a lot of contacts, and he loved to go. And I was always a little more conservative. Well, I don't believe we can afford to go to this. Well, so, yes, we really enjoyed life. And when he was in the insurance business, he'd qualify for a trip for how much business he had sold. That was a highlight of our vacation. We couldn't afford it, but we went to such places as Sun Valley, and what was it? We went to Chicago for a 2-day when they had the last national get-together for Lincoln National Life Insurance Company. That was a wonderful 2 days. They had a train take half the group one day and the other half the next day from there to Fort Wayne, Indiana, which was their home office. And they had the whole train for, half of the people. And they had a box lunch for us in the train, and they had drinks, and they had strolling musicians that would come through singing to us. So it was that was a fun trip.
And then you had kids.
And then I had from the very beginning.
How old were you when you had your
Kathy was, I was married in 1944, and Kathy was born in 1945. And 42 years later, Fran, your mother, was born, and another 2 years, your Aunt Sharon was born. And then 4 years later, Peggy Casey. Margaret Ann Casey. Blitz.
Or as you would name her now, it'd be Casey.
Yeah. Casey Kid.
Did you have any expectations as a character as a girl or a boy when they were born?
Oh, yeah, at the very beginning.
Yeah.
They thought Frank's father was living yet, Pop. And all his brothers had girls. There was no Casey boy carrying on the name. And so your grandpa used to say to him, he was the last, Frank was the last one, we were the last ones to get married. And he said, well, I'll have to, so what, can any of you boys get a good Irish gal? But he always kidded them. Yeah. You can't even bring a, well, then he married me, and I was German, so they had the laugh on him then. And then he said, well, where's all the Casey boys you're going to produce? None of them did. So when I had my first baby, and it was a girl, his brother Bob, who was really a clown, sent me a telegram, and I opened it up, and all it said, a boy, ha-ha. So I never did get the boy either.
You felt like you had your kids too early, or too
No,
early?
I was 24.
Right.
Yeah, I was ready for a family.
Did you think you were raised any differently than you raised your kids, or tried to do it the exact same way?
I'd say much like I was, although, you know, you change with the times. There was more freedom that we allowed them to do, and they worked some in babysitting and what have you in high school that I didn't ever get out to do. And they worked in the store. So I didn't work until I was out of high school.
What is your relationship with each of the kids today?
Oh, I enjoyed my family. I enjoyed the kids, even though you know, it wasn't all fun and games.
Is there any certain one that was more of a pain in the butt than the other one?
Well, I guess your mother. I can't tell things on her.
The camera can't see me. I mean, you said it, not me.
No, she was a very good. Kathy was really one to run the roost, and when she was little, she even, let's see how, she's about 8 years older than 6 years older than Sharon. I remember when she was a baby in the crib, I can remember going in there, and here Kathy had reached through the crib and pulled her over and said, you're going to take care of her. She was very capable from the very beginning.
Did you think you raised them all pretty much the same? Or
I think so. Peggy, when she was in high school, the youngest one, felt a little bit neglected. I didn't find out till later. Because, you know, the other three older girls used to talk about their dates in their school, and Peggy was a little younger, and she sort of, I didn't realize it, felt a little left out in her days growing up. But now they're all close. So but she felt a little hurt that I found out later in those years when she was in 8th grade to high school, somewhere in there.